Welcome back. This is episode 28 of World's Strongest Opinions, and our guest today is Romark. He's one of the best video creators on YouTube and on the internet. He's friends with a lot of strong people. Right now, he's been traveling the world. He has a great series, the Strength Unknown series he's been doing. He has a lot of great plans going on. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Welcome, man. Glad to have you on, Romark.
Yeah, this has been a great one because when you messaged and said you were a fan of the show, that one time that I tagged you in a story, I was like so pumped about that because just like the all the stuff you create, like the production value these days on your videos is just insane.
Oh,
And
thanks,
stuff.
man.
So
I mean,
yeah,
I'm trying to step outside the realm of like daily vlog strongman videos now because it gets boring.
yeah, it's always nice to like step out, kind of like perfect your craft and everything. Because right
hmm
now you just returned a bit ago from Spain or Basque Country, right, with the
Yeah,
stones.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we in February we did a whole tour, strict unknown tour. We went to Netherlands, Spain, Georgia, which is coming after Basque Country, and then Italy, and we did that for
nice.
like 30 days.
So you said Georgia. Is that how they pronounce that? I'm ignorant. We always say Georgia. Is it Georgia?
Dude, I don't know. I got corrected the other day for saying it wrong, so I don't know.
I don't know. I just noticed you said it different. I'm like, have I been saying? I mean, it's
I say
possible because Georgia to us is a state in the United States, right? And it's probably not pronounced even relatively close in the actual
well,
country.
I just assume it's like Georgian. That's why how they say
Yeah,
it.
that's a good
So
point.
it's Georgian, right? So I'm like, okay, so it's Georgia. I just say
However, like
Georgia.
I got called out one time, like Keynes, right? Economics. I called it Keynesian once, and somebody's like, "No, that's not right. It's Keynesian. It's
Oh wow,
Keynesian."
yeah.
I'm like, "Whatever," but like you say Cartesian. Why can't I say Keynesian? It's
I personally
Keynesian.
it's just so traveling around the world, you have a better understanding and how people interpret it, different language. Like for example, Lithuania and Latvian in English is different in other Spanish called like Latonia is
Oh,
Latvian.
right. Yeah.
So people pronounce different countries in different languages differently. It's very interesting. It was
Absolutely.
mind blowing to me.
Well, I feel like
And
we should pronounce it however the people of
the
that
sound,
country pronounce it, right? Because that would be appropriate. It's like going through Missouri. Well, like part of Missouri calls it Missouri, so we should
yeah, I
probably
don't
call
know,
it
man.
Missouri. I don't
How
know.
do you guys say Chicago? How
Chicago.
do you guys? Yeah, so
Chicago.
like Chicago, like Chicago, like
Chicago.
people
I
say,
say Chicago. Yeah, that's what I like because that's the way people say it there. Chicago.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. But yeah. So, how have your travels been? Like, what's been your favorite part so far?
everywhere. It's
Yeah. I was like, it's hard to narrow it down.
it's it's one thing about learning the sport and watching on videos, and not let alone like what you learn in textbooks is not even the entryway to what you experience in the physical aspects. You one get like the political side and opinions by their interpretation versus our interpretation, and it really puts different perspectives and culture to experiencing how different cultures for Basque Country was a huge culture shock for sure, but so because like you don't think it'd be like a normal weightlifting gym, it was quiet. Everyone knew their job, everyone knew what they did. There was no talking, there was no cell phones like in commercial
Sounds
gyms.
amazing.
It was just like I have to do this for 45 minutes and I'm doing it. That's it. Um,
Yeah.
That sounds
but
amazing, though. Like I
yeah,
think we always say here in the United States, like shut up and lift, but nobody ever does.
no.
Nobody ever shuts up and lifts here.
It- my favorite thing is have you guys heard of like the Atlantic rowing teams? They like row from Portugal all the way
Yeah.
to like Turkish Kinko or Turkish Kinkos
Yeah,
from
Turkey Caicos.
across the line. Yeah, Rogue sponsored a team called Shut Up and Row, and I was like, I was very intrigued. I was like, dude, that's a cool little documentary we could do. We could film the training process of these rowing teams, and then I came across of this one female who did the whole thing with 3 other women, and it was very, very wholesome, and it was like complete opposite from Shut Up and Row. It was like they're like talking about things as they're rowing, and it's but that was a interesting twist. I like when people say shut up and lift and not shut up. It's really
Shut up.
Because it's funny seeing other gyms overseas are a lot more of that training hall style and everything. Like there's just kind of like, especially I always think of like the classic like Russian ones where they're just like sitting on benches and then just lift absurd weights and then just sit on the bench, and it's like all it is just lifting. Like there's not even music in the background.
I think that's
Oh
kind of like an Olympic lifting kind of thing because
yeah.
the gym that I'm at now, so I haven't been really doing strongman for so long. I've not really had a lot of exposure to like legitimate weightlifters, like Olympic. We call it Olympic weightlifting, but dude, they do. The guys they all like they bring their chairs in and they sit their chair down next to the bar. They do their set and then they sit down for a while and just chill. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
feel like it's either silence or fucking bass and drums.
yeah.
It's never like in between.
Yeah.
I used to work for Iron Mine back in the day, and I would
Oh, nice.
take their videos. I'd not like actual film it, but I was bringing Iron Man to the digital era, so like Instagram, social media. So for a while, I was doing all their social media for a bit, and I would watch all their videos of all the training videos from Pierce Demas all the way to I forgot all their names, but there's some strong dudes out there, man.
Yeah, dude, I
Yeah.
love Iron Mine. Iron
Their
Mine's such a
videos are so
great
good.
company, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna shout out Iron Mine. You've had such good like customer service from Iron Mine. Like they're
It's
like
the original Rogue. It's the original Rogue, man.
they're the original Rogue, but like they've got. I mean, Rogue's been good to me too, but dude, customer service from Iron Mine is like bar none. They're
It's
so
like 3 people. It's like 3 people.
yeah. It's very personable.
hmm
They're a really great company.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been impressed by them of like just everything that they have. And then their grippers and stuff. Because that was my first introduction. Is like those grips, the Captains of Crush, trying to work my way up.
Dude, they set the standard on that. I think.
Yeah.
Like it was like the for a long time. I still think it's still the standard. Maybe next to the extra genie stuff, but I think it's still the standard. You guys
Yeah.
try rolling?
Oh, the Rolling Thunder is so hard.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
I suck at Rolling Thunder. I can close a 3.5. I can close a 3.5 gripper. I can't. I could barely lift 180 on a Rolling Thunder. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Well,
well, it's because it's thumb, right? I mean, the Rolling Thunder requires thumb strength. A crush grip doesn't include the thumb. So I have like a very weak thumb, apparently.
Are you good? Are you a good arm wrestler?
I've never. You know what? I've never seriously arm wrestled.
Oh yeah, I just assume because like every arm wrestler has like that fucking gripper to just warm up.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I think that grippers work well. Like I always kind of say, like grippers work for grippers and maybe arm wrestling, but they don't have like a lot of carryover to like strongman because it doesn't include that thumb. Like your thumb is that limiting digit in all like axle, like farmers, all of that.
Everything,
so
yeah.
You got to train the thumb.
Yeah, I just recently realized that you had to use your thumb with the Rolling Thunder. I would always cheat and just kind of scoop it. And they were like, that's cheating. You have to use your thumb. And it's a completely different thing. I was like,
dude, I don't think that's cheating. I don't think you can do very much on a Rolling Thunder without your thumb. I'd be surprised if you could do more.
I could do more without my thumb.
Really?
Just kind of scoop it. And people told me because I worked my way up to like 150 pounds. And people were like, you need to use your thumb. And using my thumb, I ended up failing 125. Which was a bummer. I don't know. So I'm kind of weird of like once my thumbs are in, like with the axle, like I do a thumbless and then you just do double overhand thumbless. It's kind of nice.
The palm axle.
Yeah. Oh, I've never done the full axle. I just have like the G bars.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Apollon's axle is different too. It's so slippery. Like, I was actually disappointed. The guys that did the recent double overhand axle world record attempts, ridiculous grip strength. But I was really disappointed to see that it wasn't done on the Iron Mine axle. It should be
yeah,
done on a brand new Iron Mine
I
axle.
agree. I thought they did that in Ohio this year, dude. Someone set the record this year.
Yeah, but it was on a black powder coated axle. You're right. Somebody did set the record, and I can't.
And that
His
was,
name's not
I
coming to
feel like
mind. But
it was like Alexi something from Russia.
yeah. But it was a black. It looked like a black powder coated axle, and it wasn't done on the new. Because like when Mike Burke originally set it over 500 pounds, it was on a brand spanking new Iron Mine Apollon's axle.
Yeah,
Not seasoned, right? It didn't have like rust built up or anything. It was brand spanking new, super slick and polished.
Yeah, I was there for that one, but I thought someone broke it this year. I don't know. I don't know. It comes to the mind.
You've seen so many things, because I was gonna say, I was like training out there at the with Ode, like his grip strength's just legendary. So like watching him do stuff, it's just like it's inspiring. I'm always like, and you, even like your double overhand on deadlift, I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, I need to get more into double overhand.
I took it for granted. I grew up with those, so I was a neighbor since I was 10, 11 years old. So I've seen a lot of people. I've seen Mark Felix. I've seen I cooked for Mariusz Puchanowski. I've seen Jesse Marunde. I've seen a lot of people.
You've been around a while, then. I mean, if you've met Jesse Marunde, because I mean, he passed away in 2007.
Somewhere around that time.
Yeah. So I mean, that was just when I started Strongman. Was about 2007. So you've been around a while.
I've been around. Dude, not a lot of people know that, man. I've been around Strongman for a long time. It's been.
Yeah, you have.
I've seen a lot of toilets break at Ode's house. You know, just like. I've seen
That's
John
crazy.
Anderson. I've seen who else? There's a lot of people I've seen.
But you said you cooked for Pujanowski. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So Ode's 60th birthday, he invited everyone to at the house, and then his wife at the time, Julia, needed help cooking. So I'm like 12, 13 years old, cooking the back fucking meat, no veggies, like steak, cook, cut. And it was a beautiful scene because the O's living room was a giant Viking Hall exhibit like table. So every third person there was a plate of meat, veggies. It was very Vikingish.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it is amazing. So that was how you got your start into Strongman, was just living next to Ode and just like hanging out there.
Yeah, man. I started training when I was 10. He taught me how to clean and jerk since I was 10 years old.
Wow, man.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's like man, people kill for that opportunity.
Oh, dude, definitely took it for granted. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you're 10 years old, you don't know. You have no idea, right? You're training with he's like the epitome of old man strength, right? He started Strongman when he was 50 years old, and competed and hung with with the top guys for a decade into his 60s, which is insane.
Well, I didn't really get into Strongman because at the time, maybe it was until 2013. Nothing was at his gym. The lightest thing was 285 pounds. like when Martins was training. So I met Martins in 2013 when I got out of Navy, and he started training across the street. So I moved back to my parents' house, and he started training. So I started training, and I was still 165 pounds, but like I was more of a cardio fit versus strength fit. So I lost all my strength. But I just remember my buddy Martins and Sean do warm up in the keg, and Martins is strong at this course, you know, but he was little Martins, not like big Martins, but his warm up 225 pounds keg. You lift it up, you pick it, and you do 60 yards there, 60 yards back. That was his warm up. dude, I couldn't even fucking lift it up, get it to my lap like a atlas. It took me about 2 weeks to just get it to my lap. After that, clean it. And after that, it would be 3 steps. So then 3 months later, I would do 5 steps, 6 steps, 7 steps, and progressively get better and better. And then thanks to the sports, it was like a weird time that sports started growing. Beast Metals was the
Yeah.
main. I feel like Beast Metals before Roby sold all these like farmers. Beast Metals was it. Then you had like
Yeah.
a yoke. You had the multi-versatile yoke where you can make it farmers. I was like, cool. Now I can actually start training strongman stuff instead of doing like Olympic weightlifting and powerlifting.
Yeah,
It's
man.
gonna
I
be
mean,
awesome.
that's a remarkable thing about strongman, though. It's like everybody starts. Like we just talked about this in one of our previous episodes. It's like everybody kind of starts at a different place, and everybody's progress is, different, and you just gotta be persistent, and work with, whatever line that you have. Like I am a good example. Our previous guest had a kind of a similar example. It took me. Like I started strongman. My first competition was 2008. It took me a decade to win nationals. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I could have. I mean, I was in the running before that, but having like the right time and the right combination of events and the stars aligning and all that takes to accomplish that for a lot of athletes. I mean, yeah, we all have like different rates at which we progress, and it's all about like persistence and, like you said, like it's one step at a time, and you just keep pushing until you get that full 60 yards in your case, which is
Yeah.
awesome about the sport, man. And you could train
Yeah,
with
yeah,
guys like Martins, right, who's like really already awesome, and like there's no judgment. It's just like do your best. And
do your best. And that's why I tell people like strongman, it looks intimidating, but you use strongman in your everyday life.
yeah,
If you ever carried a case of water, you done strongman.
yeah, I mean
That's
basically
all. Yeah,
groceries.
that's
Yeah,
all strongman. You fucking mowed your lawn or move some bag of sand and soil. That's strongman. It just, I think it's a lot. I think it's a people are afraid about it because of the name. First of all, the name strongman is not a very marketable name.
right,
But
yeah.
huge demographic. But 10 years ago, you say it took you 10 years, but like, do you think there was like a path? As like a written path on where to go, or you just have to keep guessing and what's your next contest kind of thing?
Well, I mean, it was I did every contest that I could. I mean, it was time, working. You're not making any money doing it, and so
Exactly. Yeah. So
try.
there's always
So
like the motive.
I mean, like 2014 nationals, I was in first place after day 1, and day 2 I tore my calf on the very first event. Right.
Oof.
So I mean, that shit happened. So I was ready. Probably then my body said no. Like, right. I mean, I was placing like second in all the Plat Pluses when they still gave pro cards back then. I was just like, I was like what did Dion call Deffenbaugh that year that he won? He was like the ugly princess every year until that year, right? That was me for like a long time. It was like I was kind of the ugly princess, like not getting quite. I was just there, right? Or I don't know if that's what she said. It was something like that, right? But like some ridiculous like moniker. But yeah, I mean, sometimes like I mean, the competition. Like I competed in under 105Ks, and the competitiveness in that class is just insane, right? And
Oh
I mean,
yeah, it's
unless you're
the
like,
most,
unless you're like a Canby or something that's just dominant, or well, really, I mean, probably, um, uh, oh crap, I can't spit his name. I hate whenever I'm on the spot, like say somebody's name that I know like very well. I can't even.
Hopefully, it's not Andrew Clayton.
No, it's not
It's
Andrew.
like-
Well, I mean, Andrew Clayton is one of those people, but yeah, you gotta sometimes like.
Andrew Kenny is a heavyweight. He's a heavyweight.
He's a heavyweight in the under 105K's body.
6'5" doing keto, bro. That's what he's doing, dude. It's like he's a heavyweight.
Yeah, yeah, he's a pretty amazing under 105. That's for damn sure. So you're like, but I saw like you're training for the Dinny Stones.
Yeah.
Are you planning on going to Donald Dinny Day in Scotland?
August 6th is the plan. there's like no, like, how contests, there's like the promotions, like I guess like a natural day for them. So
Yeah.
I'm like trying to logistics on where to go and stuff. But I would love to be. I'm not the first Asian, because some guy who was like super heavy who was Asian lifted him up. So I want, my goal is to actually just outstep Robert Ob on the walk. I would like to walk it. I would like to walk more steps with the Denny
Then
Stones.
Oberst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that goal.
Yeah. I just need to take three. I just need to take 3 steps.
So what's the? I mean, I'm not like super familiar. I mean, I know what the Denny Stones are, but what is the challenge? Is it to walk it across a bridge or whatever? Isn't that what it
So
is, or
the
is it just a distance?
so the Denny Stones was it's a manhood stone in Scotland.
Mhm.
It was, they used it as a counterweight to build the Denny Bridge, or a bridge. I call it Denny Bridge, but it was a
Yeah,
bridge. They
yeah,
would use leverage counterweight to hoist things up. Donald Denny at the time supposedly was challenged, like many the origins of every contest was a challenge to see if he could lift the stones up with the hand by the handles, or across the bridge, and he did it. And then he was the only one on, not recorded to do it. But then after the war, I forgot the guy's name, the Scottish guy's name, found the stones in the river, not that far from the bridge. And now I think I forget so many names, but like some guy, there's like this famous guy who's like 85 kilograms, is like, nah, not to Google him. I can't, I have to put respect to his name. I can't not
yeah,
use
yeah,
that
yeah.
guy. I don't want to fuck him up, dude. Like, these guys are, manhood stones are, it's had so much history to it.
For
And
sure, man.
I don't want to disrespect the culture.
And there's so many different manhood stones. It's hard to like keep track of all of them. And I know the Denny Stones are one of the most popular, famous, maybe is a better word.
It is definitely famous in Scotland for sure.
Yeah.
And then so whoever carries a stone gets their name and name put on the book. And right now there's only 200 people in the book.
200.
Uh, yeah, so I want to put my name on the book.
Hell
You know.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So, and then there's multiple records you can do. You can either lift it up for time, which is held by
Okay.
then you do the Guinea Walk Bridge, but the walk where you saw World Strongest Man in history.
Yeah.
Currently Lawrence LA has a record with the real ones, and the replica is fucking Kevin Ferris, who did it for 30 feet or something like that, which is
It's
ridiculous because
insane.
Dude.
that shit's hard. I did the replica. I lifted it up just a little bit, millimeter, at the Rogue Invitational. No training at all. And I just did it for the meme lift because I did it in Crocs. So I'm gonna,
John is a big fan of the meme lifts.
yeah,
Like he lives for the meme.
yeah.
True.
So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna lift it up, I'm gonna lift it up with Crocs, and I got a little. They call it like there's some wind underneath the stones, and you lifted it up. I got a little bit, but not like it was 1 second. So I just needed to be. My arms are long. My arms are so fucking long. So it's like I stand up is there. So I had to. I got some platform boot shoes. I'm gonna start training. My plan. My plan to train, because it's so awkward. Like one stone is like 400 pounds, another stone is 300 pounds.
Right.
My plan is to offset the Slater farmers that we have a Reckitt. So one farmer is going to be 400 pounds, and the other one's going to be 300 pounds. So I'm just going to get used to
Right.
that different weight distribution. So yeah,
Yeah, you
that's my
almost need
plan.
to get like a couple of weight like loading pins and
I
rings
got loading pins. I got loading pins.
so that you've got like, you know what I mean? Because like farmers are nice and perpendicular to your body, where you get loading
Yeah,
pins and plates, right? They're going to be like banging against you just like the Denny Stones will.
yeah. So I was going to do that too, but the reason why I wanted to do with the Slater farmers is because it's bulkier and it hits your fucking legs more versus the Denny stones itself. So I just want to
Okay.
get used to, like, when I step, I want to get used to like the weirdness of that giant wood farmers to hit my arm, and then
Sure.
yeah, again, you can't really train for this. Anyone under 105 kilos, it's hard to train for this. It's really hard because
Yeah.
I
And you
have the
think
strength.
like, do you think like hook gripping rings like helps?
Yeah, so
Or
I've been hook gripping everything. I've been practicing hook gripping, just getting used to the tension. And right now my thumbs are numb. Right now,
yeah.
I did the other day I did 5 sets of 430 at hook grip, and the last set I couldn't fucking hook. I couldn't feel it anymore, so I had to go over under.
That's what sucks about hook grip, man. That's why I don't do it.
And the thing is, like, people are like, "Oh, the hook grip's fun," but like, I was holding it at top for the hook grip. I was holding it at top, just get used to the fucking pain, and it's just.
Yeah.
Then I do like single arm holds with the hook grip. I only do like 10 seconds of it, which is really hard. Like that shit is hard. Doing this
Right.
for 10 seconds on half-inch rings is fucking hard.
Are they even are they really half an inch? I guess they would be smaller than that, but maybe they have to
Smaller
be
than that, yeah.
for that
I
kind
don't
of
know.
weight. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
It's,
hear that's the hard part because that's
it's just
skinniness. Like
pain.
it's not like a
Dude,
good handle. Like it's literally cutting into
painful,
you. It feels
man.
like.
It's pain, and yeah. I was almost going to try to do like be the lightest man, and I don't want to drop 5 kilos. I like food, so I don't want to do it. But
The lightest
have
man
you
in
guys?
Crocs.
Yeah, right. I show up in a Crocs and kilt, hat
There you
backwards,
go.
it's like tattoos everywhere. Yeah, that'd be really funny. But
It's
yeah,
crazy.
no, I think I'm gonna do it. And then 2 days before that, it's like the biggest Highland Games in Scotland, which is cool.
Yeah.
I've seen Highland. We all seen Highland Games, but have you seen it at the motherland? Let's
No.
go.
That's crazy.
I just started training Highland Games, so after
It's
like
fun.
14 and a half years of strongman, I'm like trying to learn something new, and it is fun. It's a lot of fun, but it's like 14 and a half
Annoying.
years of strongman did nothing to help me do like
No,
Highland
dude.
Games.
Highland Games is not strength. It is precision, dude. I thought
It's explosiveness.
I could fucking throw that, that sheep shit.
The
Like,
sheep, yeah.
the sheep, not sheep.
Yeah.
Like
Sheep.
I played baseball. Nope, almost. I let go of the fork, and the fork went in the air, and almost like
I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna kill somebody.
No, dude, and that's the thing. Like, it's fun to try these sports out because this shit's fucking fun, dude. It's different. It's not popular, but it's fun.
Yeah,
That's what
dude,
I love
it
about
is. It's fun to learn something new. I agree. Like we talk about that pretty frequently on here too. Is like I think everybody, even in strongman, there's so much you can learn outside of the sport that's going to help you with strongman too, like weightlifting,
Mhm.
CrossFit. Because I mean, especially weight class strongman is becoming more and more condition based. I mean, there's more like long medleys. And yeah, like Highland Games. I mean, like we started throwing bags for height.
Mhm.
We're over a bar, so the most
What
obvious person
what
to go to learn to do that as Highland Games thrower, right?
Yeah, what Highland game could be the next strongman event? What do you guys think?
I like that hammer throw thing they do.
Dude, hammer throw is fun.
That's like
Dude, that
the
shit-
spins though. Like that's the main thing. Is like I don't do weightlifting because it takes coordination. But then I saw the Highland Games, and you have to like time your spins and everything perfectly. Like you can't just muscle through it. You can't just be like go there.
Dude,
You gotta, like,
so probably
stone
it's hard to know. Like, so I'm working with a guy who's really good. I mean, he's a hell of a lot better than me. He's a national caber throwing champion.
even caber toss. I was like, what am I looking at? But like, there's so much elements to that shit. Like,
Dude, he's like, so I felt like I was getting the pudding down pretty well. He's like, you're gonna find that this is the hardest event to learn, and you start like breaking it down, and I'm like, I thought that weight for distance was going to be the hardest, but that's actually starting to click to me now. And now I'm like, pudding, I thought at first was easier, and I'm like, man, I'm really struggling with this, like, because you're like
How do
this
you
whole
teach that?
tension on your hip, man, is like it's so weird.
Yeah, like, and yeah, again, it's one of those things. Like, and the thing is with the Highland Games, it's not like you have to find a Facebook group to do it. It's not. It's not like a go to 24-hour fitness and toss a log.
You can't do anything in 24 hours. You can't do anything really in any gym. You have to go out into a field where like you can't go to a park, because if you start throwing the stuff out into a park, you're just gonna put giant divots everywhere, and somebody's gonna like twist an ankle, right? So you have to go find like a
hammer.
Yeah, that dude, the hammer just tears the ground up, man. And so you have to go find an unoccupied, abandoned field somewhere and just like throw.
Did you guys go to Arnold this year?
No.
Oh,
No,
I'd like to.
unfortunately not. Yeah.
It looks so much fun.
Have you been,
I've
John?
never gone. I've qualified to compete there several times, and I just like the timing never has worked out for me.
It's expensive.
Same with OSG, man. I've qualified for OSG almost every year it's existed. And this last year was the one year I was ready to go and everything was going to work. I got COVID the day I was going to fly out.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's expensive to fucking fly to these things too, man.
Dude. It's cheaper to fly to Europe.
Huh?
It's cheaper to fly to Europe in a lot of cases.
Yeah, because what? You have to pay for hotels, then the flight, right?
Yeah.
So you're spending $2,000 to hopefully not get injured.
Right.
That's why I see it.
The last clash at Hilton Head Island, I think that's the last place I saw you, in fact, was Clash 22. Mm-hmm. They to fly out Sunday was like $1,200 just in the United States, and I'm like, I was just in Finland a few months earlier, and I only spent for the entire trip, I spent $1,800.
Yeah,
and that was like a rental car, an Airbnb, food, flight, everything.
I'm like, that's ridiculously cheap. Yeah,
it was really cheap that time. The first time I went was much more expensive, but yeah, that trip was pretty cheap.
I've been surprised by the cheapness of international flights. Like, we were looking at possibly going to Iceland, and I was like, wait, it's $300 round trip out of Austin. And I was like, trying to fly to Virginia is the same price. I was like,
you might have like 24-hour layover in like Seattle or something. That's right. You have to read that. You have to read
they always like to go the wrong direction first. And then
yeah. Or like you have like maybe Minnesota, because if you think about it, it's like they go above the earth, not.
Yeah, you're right. They do. They go over. Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Minnesota, all my uptown Minneapolis people.
Yeah. Are you from Minneapolis?
Uptown bar and cafe. No, I lived there for a couple years when I was younger.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's where
from Nebraska or Montana.
Yeah, definitely not a Cornhusker. I'm from Montana.
Yeah, I get confused by the middle of the country.
You live in Texas?
I live in Denver.
Yeah, Denver. I just live here in Texas.
Darren
and I have never met
the area. Yeah.
What? We've never actually met in real life. We're just internet friends who talk every week.
We're internet friends that
have to hang out.
I accidentally butt dialed John one day, and it all just led to this moment. Right
wow!
Yeah. So I live in Austin, or like just slightly north of Boston. So I love the Rogue Invitational. Was great to like just stop by and visit. That's where I got to briefly meet you, and I was like, it's cool that Darren and I both got to briefly meet you at some point.
Oh wow!
So I was like. But yeah, I'd like to go to the Arnold, but it is like travel and flights and everything. Whereas like the Invitational, I could just like go there 5 minutes away and just like.
Columbus is not a cheap destination in the U.S. either. It's surprisingly very expensive.
Because it's a small party airport.
Yep.
It's just like a small hopper plane. So it's not like a major city. Even Austin too. Like you think Austin would be a major city, it's not. It's really expensive to fly to Austin sometimes.
Yeah, it's weird out here and everything. But flying overseas, though, we'd like to go. We'd like to go to Iceland and do the stones out there sometime.
I've been to Iceland 4 fucking times, and I've yet to see the Husafell stone.
No shit.
I was gonna ask. I was like, because
Yeah.
Darren really needs to do it. Like,
Dude, I have to
soon.
before I'm too old. I need to do those.
That's another thing. So like, I want to be the lightest person to lift that stone. I'm going to use the bass technique on how
There
to
you
go
go.
lift it.
Roll it
Just
over
go-
your knees. Is that
Yeah,
what
but
you mean? Or
so instead of the flat side facing your knees, I'm going to have the long side on my dick, and I'm just going to fucking roll it up to my stomach.
There you go.
So
There you go,
just
man.
use
Crazy.
leverage,
Dude,
let it
Basque
fall.
stones, like I don't understand how Basque stones have never made it into strongman.
It's it's very technical.
It
When
is, and like I understand, like they make the rectangle ones kind of for the athlete, right?
Yeah, so each I'm editing the video right now. So each stone is made for the athlete, which
Right.
is it's not like a barbell. It's not like it's like, okay, so you talk to the stone makers like, hey, my leverage is sucks. So can you make it top heavy instead of bottom heavy? So when I get up here and roll it up, it'll be easier. Or if my pick and stuff, make it bottom heavy instead of top heavy. So it makes it to height. Oh, they changed the height.
Right.
And there's different rules of the stones. It's very complicated. It's a very complicated stone, but a beautiful stone.
Yeah, and the weights are crazy. When you said 301 kilograms, I was like, wait, that's 660 pounds to shoulder.
Well, the
I was
world
like,
record is 329.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is even ridiculous. Yeah, it's
Just
like just put that weight on your shoulders standing up is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Imagine, okay, can you guys imagine that 600 pounds in one shoulder?
No,
That's still ridiculous.
I've had
that
have
way.
had close to 400, and I just felt like I was just gonna die because it's so
Like,
much weight.
Gonna snap off.
Right.
But
What's the heaviest you did? Did you get to work your way up on the stones or
Nope.
anything?
I did not, because I was filming the whole time. It's hard. It's really I
Oh.
wanted to, but I had to film. There's no it's a really hard thing to do, to train and film, Martins. Because I want to train, but I have to also film. And yeah.
That is the hard thing. I didn't think about that because in my mind, I'm like, it would be great. You get to go lift all these things and like, but it's a lot to do. I can only imagine of like the level of production you have to do. Because if anyone hasn't seen it, the Strength Unknown series, it's like it's better than that History Channel show.
Oh,
Like,
no,
the Strongman one. It is. I'll say it. I know that's controversial, but it's better than the Strongest Men in History.
Well,
And it's
I
there
just
on
get annoyed
YouTube.
because I swear there's people in that show that shouldn't belong. There's only I love Nick. Love Nick. I would keep him. Oh, marry, fuck, kill. Let's play that game right now.
Maybe fuck kill. John's wanted me to play that for a long
I
time.
know we've talked about it on the show.
All right, let's do it. All right, you got marry, fuck, kill, Robert O.B., Nick Best, Eddie Hall.
God, that's a tough one. Like spending the rest of your life with one of those. I guess I'm like, I guess Nick Best. Nick
Dude,
Best.
I would marry Nick Best in a heartbeat.
I would marry Nick Best in a heartbeat. I love Nick Best.
Dude, he's such an amazing dude.
Who do you have to kill though?
Man,
that's the hard one.
Instead of fucking training, you'll train him. You know, like a one night train. You know,
I'm gonna say it. Oberst is less annoying than Eddie Hall. So I gotta go fuck kill on Oberst.
Oh my! That's like that. Okay, so we do disagree on that. I was like, Eddie, there's something about him. Like he has this like weird impish charm about him. That's like I don't know. It's hard because sometimes he can be kind of weird and stuff. But it's like I would say, yeah. So I guess the person I'd have to kill would be, I feel bad saying it, but I guess Oberst. Who would you pick?
I like Obi. Oh, right away, Obi. Right away.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
Walk into the room.
Yeah, I just know Obi. He's a great guy, great personality. I just think he just light the fire for no reason, and then watch people argue about this fucking fire. He's a drama starter, not a problem solver, right?
There you go.
That's
Like the opposite of Hooper. Hooper seems
yeah,
like no drama, just all solutions.
yeah. Straight to the point.
Yeah.
Straight to the point.
That's a fair thing. That is
And I
controversial that Darren said that he would pick Oberst over Eddie Hall. I'm struggling with that.
I don't know, man. I mean, I've spent a very little amount of time in Oberst, around Oberst, and he didn't like bother me too much then. But yeah, I don't know.
I just think because like
I just get tired of hearing. I just get tired of hearing from Eddie. Just
True,
go away.
true. Yeah. I mean, I love Eddie. I love Eddie. Yeah, he is a drama starter as well, but he actually backs it up, kind of to the point of except for boxing.
He's done, yeah, I mean, he's done well as a result, though. I mean, you got to give that to him. I mean, he's made a lot of money being that character.
Man. You need that racket. Everyone was too kind and too happy, and he was that racket for.
Yeah,
they changed. Everyone needed a public enemy, and I feel like he made it himself, and good for him, you know.
Yeah,
but I just don't like OB. I don't like OB. I just dislike OB because he talks so much, never backs it up.
Right?
Yeah, and
I can see that. I mean,
he calls himself a Texan, but he's from Oregon. So it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing, you know. Like, but I don't know.
It's hard though. Most of us in Texas, we like to pretend that we're Texans, but we're all from somewhere else. That's why my family's in Virginia. I
want a cowboy hat so bad, but
oh yeah, like Allen's boots
Stetson,
is great here. Yeah, get the full like decked out thing.
But I don't want to be a poser. I don't want to be that one guy that comes to Texas to buy a cowboy hat.
Don't be the dime store cowboy, man. Don't be the dime store cowboy.
No. I used to work in a farmhouse back out there in the Navy, so I was kind of a cowboy. I would feed the cows, you know, in the morning.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I grew up in like very ranchy rodeo country, real cowboy. Like there's no real cowboys anymore. But like to me, like the closest thing are rodeoers, right? Rodeoers are probably the closest thing to cowboy in my experience because like the farmers and the ranchers they're just making a living, right? They're living their life, working every day. They're usually pretty chill people. Rodeoers, on the other hand, man, they just have something to prove, like nonstop. And like that to me is like when I think of cowboy growing up with those kind of guys, like some of them are just douchebags. I mean, they really are, right? And I mean, there's some good ones. Don't get me wrong; they're not all like bad, but like I growing up in cowboy country was not my favorite experience.
Dude, you know what's really weird? I came here I came from the Philippines at 5, so I was kind of Americanized real quick, and like I grew up watching all the Western movies, and it's like, oh, dude, that's cool. I want to be that, and I was like, cool, I want to be a cowboy. So,
I mean, dude, rodeos are fun though. Like, if you get a chance to go to like rodeo, man, rodeo is so fun to go to and watch. Freaking love going to the rodeo.
Yeah, I saw bullfighting in real life in Spain.
Yeah.
That's
nice. Hell yeah.
There's no clowns there, bro. There's just there's no rodeo clown. It was just like, don't die.
Just don't die.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like, you've had so many crazy experiences. I was like, because you said you met Martins 2013, you said, so like 10 years ago. And it's crazy how much stuff you've done since then. Of like your world traveling stuff's crazy.
Yeah, that's recent. I'm on a mission. I want to experience all the strength in the world the right way, not fucking TV production, strongest man in history shit. I want to be with the locals. I want to know what they live, and I want to know everything. And Martins and I share that same passion, hence strength unknown, right? the other, yeah, and within 10 years, Martinez and I opened up 2 gyms. We opened up a training hall together with Ode. And then I saw the lack of media behind it. And since we were like behind Brian, we were the second strongman to do YouTube. And then he set the standard, and then now everyone does it. So it's like, so what's next for us? Like, what's better than vlogging your workouts? What can we do? So, and also, I'm trying to set Martinez up for like a career in all this stuff as well. So, like, instead of being strongman, like we could make this a career, being world travelers, finding strength.
Hell yeah! So is that like? So you kind of grew up training with Ode and then Martins, and was the content creation something that just kind of naturally happened for you, or is it something you went to like school for? And how did that like come about?
So I've always taken photos since I was 12, right?
Okay.
I took it pretty much from 2000, and I have a photo of like the first LA Fit Expo Odd Haugen Classic in Pasadena, and I was like 13
Nice.
years old, 14 years old, film camera kind of thing. So I've always taken photos of strongman, but I wanted to be a professional photographer. So, but in 2009 there was a recession, and my mom wanted me to go to become a doctor or a nurse, and I didn't want to do that. And I also didn't want to be in student debt, so I joined the military to become a combat photographer because that'd be really cool. I would love to take photos. I joined the and the job since it was the recession, jobs are cut, so the spot was full. So I became undez, so I didn't get that job. And then after I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this for 4 years. I'll get out and pursue whatever I want. And then got out, met Martins, worked out. I became a dance photographer. I built my whole career, my early 20s, 25 years old to like 2000 to 28 years old as a dance photographer. And I worked with Dancing with the Stars, World Dance, and I traveled around the world taking photos of dance photography. But I also love training, and Ode gave me shares to the training hall in return for media, and I loved doing the work. I love fitness and everything, and I just saw the lack of social media for these guys and representation. Like, I mean, they're started building up now, but like still, like look at Mateusz Kolakowski 3 years ago versus now, and like you need a person. I love strongman. Professional strongmen can't have the ability to make creative videos yet and work out. It's really hard. It's a full-time job.
Super hard.
Full-time job. Look at Trey Mitchell, man. He only posts his workouts, but like he's a very creative person. He's like he's so knowledgeable, but he has the lack of ability of the media side. So I just double focus. I quit training hall. I quit dance photography and just focus on YouTube.
It makes a big difference because it definitely, like, I mean, Darren's brought it up of like you do need to have like a good media presence, and like that'll get you invites sometimes like to events and like keep you involved if like you're a fun person to be around and you bring something to the event and stuff. And we've like told other people that of like when we had Tom Evans on, we were like,
oh, I love Tom Evans.
You're a coach and like you're surrounded by students because you work at a university. Like there are film students out there who would kill to make like his road to the Arnolds. Which now his road to World's Strongest Man, the fact he was elevated, like
I am so glad
so nice.
I am so glad he made the top 30.
Yeah.
That was a big one because he definitely like he made his mark at the Arnolds. Like
he finished crazy. 5th, right?
Yeah.
5th, yeah.
Was it 5th or 4th?
It was I think 5th, but it was still in the top half.
Yeah.
I think the top 4. He was pretty close though and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, it's funny he said the one event he was excited about was that stone throw overhead because he was like no one else like knows how to do it well.
Because he trains throwers.
Yeah, it's like that's exciting.
Yeah.
Idea.
Wait, that event I was surprised Tom dropped that Tom Stolman dropped that event. That was his event too. He's fucking
Oh,
10
yeah.
feet tall. All he had to do is just add a little fucking input.
Oh, that
That's
was
funny.
intense. What are your predictions for the World's Strongest Man this year? After being around everyone, like, who do you think will be the top 10 or top 5? One of those.
Top 10. Hooper is gonna be there. I don't know, man. There's a lot. You got your original top 10. I feel like pretty much everyone from last year will be top 10, except for Brian. I don't know if he's okay. I haven't seen his recent YouTube video. If he
Oh, I
with
need to
his,
check that one.
like
Yeah.
apparently he almost lost his leg. Uh,
Yes, I haven't
yeah,
seen that either.
yeah. Watch that video. I was like, oh shit. But everyone from the top 10, now minus Martins is not gonna be there. So I feel like Janasha could be top 10 here. He's actually no. Then you got Pablo in there too from Europe's.
Yeah.
So let's say everyone Martins
He's
is
gonna
out.
stir the pot a little bit, I think.
He's gonna stir the pot. But hey, 2022 or 2021, Novikov didn't make it. So like
Right.
top 10. So it all depends on the placement of the group, honestly, because you
Yeah.
have Tom Evans in there. It's gonna be fucking hard. That's a death group right there.
For
Yeah.
sure.
That's a tough
So-
one. Like, once they have those heats and everything, it's going to be interesting to see how that.
I would like to know how they
Okay.
pick the heats at World's Strongest Man. Like how
I
what
don't know. I asked that same question to Collins, and he says IMG. It's all
IMG. Man, that's unfortunate because Tyler Purdue has come up with a pretty good process for Clash heats so that it balances things out well, so you don't have those really unevenly balanced heats. Because we've seen that in the past in World's Strongest Man too. I mean, I think we saw it in the first Clash where we had some really unbalanced heats where guys were bombing like 2 events and still making it to finals, right? Which you shouldn't have. But I don't really like the heat system anyway because it doesn't really.
I like
think
top
the cream.
40.
Yeah,
I like top 40. And
Yep.
then each round, if you can't make it to the next round, Hunger Games style,
sure.
make it
Something has to be like that because I mean I think for the most part most of the cream still rises to the top in the heat system. But if you have if everybody's scored together, the real cream of the crop rises, right?
Yeah.
Because then those guys that are like bombing multiple events they're down, they're placing way too low to make it top 10. So
Yeah. So, and I the perfect situation for me, like I'm thinking live TV, right? I'm thinking live TV, like a F1 Cup, but in 4 days. If you had to do a 4-day event right now, because it's like Wednesday, Thursday, day off, Saturday, Sunday, right? So we have that.
Yep.
It's a World Strongest Man Festival, right? And it's a live TV. This is a perfect scenario, right? You have 40 men out there, or 50 men. Let's say because there's 25 men. Okay, let's say 25 men because there's or 30 men because there's top 30. Sorry, 30 men out there. All right, and then the first day there's 2 events. If you can't be top 20 for the Wednesday, right? So you have to make it top 20 for Wednesday, right? Then you can't on the second day 2 you have to be top 20. So on Thursday you be 20 people, and then day off Saturday will be the battle of top 10, which is the final on Sundays.
yeah,
I feel like that's easier for live TV. And people argue, what if like the first 2 events are the worst events for the person? Well, that sucks. like train harder, you know?
Train harder. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I don't think it's very.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So then I argued, like, okay, what if we get the events 5 months out? Anything.
Yeah.
And then you train really hard for it. And lots of time to train, no weaknesses, you know? Yeah. It's possible. It's really possible because, and I'm being biased here, but Martins in 2020 had a nerve damage in his right arm, and he had to do the circus dumbbell, and he couldn't do it, so he trained left-handed, and he got 285 left-handed,
which is
That's
crazy.
man.
it's ridiculous.
It's really
Your
good.
weakest hand, left-handed. So it's
Yeah.
possible if you
It is.
discipline yourself. It's possible, and
100%.
yeah. So like, it just proves my point. Like, you didn't want it that bad.
Yeah, man, and it's more comprehensive too. And we've talked like a lot too about like we've talked about what organization is doing it best these days, and I still think World's Strongest Man, is doing something very right. But the thing that always comes up is the lack of the live stream.
Lack of live
World's
stream.
Strongest Man is like the thing that's to me is holding him back more than anything.
I agree, and we'll throw in a little bit of disagreement. I just think there's no clear path for World's Strongest Man right now.
Right.
I feel like
What-
the one thing that's holding World's Strongest Man is like, how do I do this without networking, without being, you're just we need a demographic. You're strong in your country, you go in, kind of thing, right? I feel like the best formula is the CrossFit formula. They have different levels. So if you want to make strongman bigger, you have to target the white belts, always the white belts. So you do like a level 1 opening, right? Obviously, you're gonna be fucking great at it, right?
Yeah.
But it gives everyone a chance to compete, and it has a record. And they're like, oh, cool. I'm going to be going against fucking Martins. I'll do my best. But you know what? See how I do it. But it gives you a record. So you do level 1, then 3 weeks later, level 2, 3 weeks later, level 3, and then you narrow yourself up to the World's Strongest Man, right?
Yeah,
But
I like that
like,
idea. Actually, it's
the simplest idea. CrossFit did so well.
Yeah,
because one,
So well
they target.
organized.
Here's a weird fucking fact. There was a biggest flex in my life. CrossFit posted this photo, posted this in their CrossFit feed. It was level 1, 9,000 women did a muscle up. I don't give a shit about the muscle up. I don't give a shit about the women. It was the 9,000, right?
right.
You think there's 9,000 people attempting to do a strongman contest?
No,
that's just
not
the
all
women.
Yeah,
But like,
That's
imagine and this is global. They post the standards, and they do their fucking certificate in their box, and they put it online, and they have like 40,000 people doing level 1.
Yeah,
and people show up. I was at a box for a while, and it's
People
packed.
show up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, people are so excited because
where I trained, they have like special 3-week Friday Night Lights is what they call it, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Yep.
It's hype, and you know what? It is tangible. Like, okay, if I actually trained really hard, I could pass level 2, and then if I train really hard next year, I could be the top 100 CrossFitter, or in this case, strongman in the world. Think about that. That's the easiest way to the top 30 on World's Strongest Man final day.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Dude, we argue on this show all the time that like CrossFit is doing I like CrossFit from like you're saying there, and you get to the upper echelons and it's like all the athletes are basically competing against each other on the same event, right? Dude, CrossFit is done. I always say CrossFit took strongman and made it really like popular and profitable, right?
Yeah.
The difference is though is that it's the fittest man and woman, and so it like the propensity is for people to be smaller and fitter, right? Rather than strongman is
there's no weight class. That's another thing, dude. That's number 2 there's no weight class. So like, let's say
no weight class.
If Martins wanted to do it, he can in theory and win $250,000. You know, like that's
those prize pots are insane too. Of like
everyone does
it's
it.
wild.
It's crazy. The top paid. The top earner in CrossFit is like making $800,000 a year on just winnings alone.
Yeah, like Justin bought a house. He's 23 years old. But no, and here's the cool part about CrossFit, and the CrossFit people hate this. I actually like it. Even if you won the CrossFit Games, you have to do the whole qualification again. There's
Right.
no you're automatically invited.
Yeah.
So that's really cool from a CrossFit, like so cool. Can you do it again this year, kind of thing?
Right. United States Strongman is kind of like that too. If you win nationals, you don't get an automatic invite back to nationals, right? You have to go. So USS kind of, it's not a perfect system, but I understand what Willie's trying to do is you win nationals and you get the international invite, right? He pushes you on to bigger show. And then next year, if you want to go back to that bigger show, he ideally wants you to start back at square one, go through, win nationals, get the invite, go on to the bigger show again. But, there's a disconnect because the other organizations, you just call them up and say, hey, can I come back next year? And most of the time they're like, can you pay your way here? And they're like, we need some warm bodies. And you're like, yeah. They're like, come on, you're invited.
I just had a counter argument for myself there, because like strongman is not CrossFit. It's not a repetition thing. It's a heavyweight thing. So like,
right.
so that would suck. That would actually suck, being like you putting 5 times your weight and then like do it all over again. No, yeah, that's actually tough. I don't know, but I feel like that's a good skeleton structure or roadmap how to get the easiest path to World's Strongest Man, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think there are things like static monsters is a great thing that they do of like kind of trying to do like a global competition like that. And I think there do need to be more things like that of like if you could have like enough strongman gyms of like you have one day where it's just like max stone or whatever, and like you get up enough, like then you go to the next one or something. And like
Yeah.
but a part
Stones
of
are,
it,
stones are difficult.
it's a tough one. But
Sandbags
like
are difficult because if it's a loose sandbag, you have a disadvantage. Darren, if it's a loose sandbag, a 200-pound sandbag feels like a 400-pound, but a 300-pound tight sandbag feels nice because it's less firm.
Yeah, we were just talking about this on our last episode too. When I was doing the like me is specifically doing the OSG online qualifier, I've got a 330-pound sandbag that's just like really sloppy, and it's so hard for me to shoulder. And then I jam packed my 300-pound bag with like lead shot, so it was just super tight to 385 or whatever.
And you did it for reps.
Well, I don't know if I could have done it for reps, but it was easier to shoulder than the 330.
Yeah, it's sandbag is hard, and that's my only argument for this online qualifiers is like, how do you do this global entry or global online course? So I guess like CrossFit
without standardization, I mean it's
hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
So like the I think the business model for CrossFit, and please people correct me if I'm wrong, is like you have to be certified. You have to be certified first, so there's your income already. But then the coach certified the bags, and it's officially certified kind of thing. So that's my only way I could think of.
Yeah,
but like
there's some standardization. I mean, strongman uses just like, I mean, like you said, with that online qualifier, I think the guy that won the under 1.5s on that particular event, like he took a small 250-pound bag and like just filled it full of lead shots, so it was like 400 pounds. Right.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, it's easier to pick up because like you're not
wide.
You're not so wide. It's not so hard and whatnot. I mean, it was smart because there was no rules. It was like, wow, well, we should have probably all done that. But
everyone should be doing that. Everyone takes the fucking sand, like the little box sandbags from Rogue and make it 200 pounds.
For the most part, for CrossFit though, they're like barbells and rings and pull-up bars, right, and boxes.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't really cheat
jerk,
that too much.
you can't cheat that. So maybe, that's like the only argument is we don't have a standardization, which is also the beauty of it because like that's strongman.
Yeah, it is. But I think we argue for standards here, not standardized equipment per se. I mean, to some extent, I think like because like I feel like we were talking about a different implement here earlier. I can't think now, but like a different like log to log is different. Like there's a big difference between an 8-inch diameter log and a 13-inch diameter log. Right? It's huge. It's a huge difference, right?
A wider log and a narrow log. It's just
like it's all so much different, and and so it's hard to like when you really understand it as a strongman competitor or somebody that's been around strongman for a long time, like like it's hard to say like this world record compares to that world record. Like cleaning an axle with free spinning wheels versus
A lot,
a
like welded.
non-rotating, dude,
Yeah.
it's night and day difference in the difficulty. And I think strongman lacks some of that because like if you're gonna say world record, like what does that really mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Mm-hmm.
it cheated to the max where like I mean there's been some recent world records that are like really sloppy at giant slide, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's why that's like the weakness of strongman too. Like, oh, I have a world record, but then you ask, like, then I would ask, what organization? you know,
Yeah,
like
what organization? Who is the
yeah,
judge? And like, well, I mean,
yeah.
even like some of the competitors, I know it's controversial, but like in 2017, like they got really strict on the Viking press, right? On the like the double knee bend. Like that was
Mm-hmm.
really strict, honestly. And then you fast forward to 2021, I think it was, and Bibby's log press or his axle press world
The action
records.
press,
Like
yeah.
you didn't let Thor get away with a little tiny baby knee bend, but like you let those presses
Yeah.
pass. It's like, where's the standard? Like, where's the in
If,
between? You
if
know, what do we expect as fans? Are we going to get the strict judging today, or are we going to get the sloppy judging?
so you, I feel like, and I talked to Colin about this for World Strongest Man. Um, if we can't standardize the weights, we gotta standardize the ref. So
Yeah,
like
something.
NBA, NFL, there's no fraternization with the players or the league. It's like a group of people who are trained to lock out, and everything needs to be three judges. We have locked out with missed reps. Unfortunately, we got the rep, so we're going to take it. We're not going to say no rep,
Well, of
but
course,
we
yeah,
on the replay we missed that rep. I'll admit to everyone we shouldn't have got reps on the Arnold and the row, but it sucks because like we took it right. We're not going to play back like, hey, give me no, fuck that. But
yeah,
but at the same time, there should be, if you can't standardize the equipment, you can't standardize the calls, to standardize the refereeing. Then if there is any conflict, the head judge, Magnus, who didn't make the call, will look back at the video and the little shadow box they have right there and be like, we'll call it challenge. And the coaches have the challenge, not the competitors, the coach. If the
right,
coach fails the challenge, um you don't get the challenge, but if you challenge it, you win, right? But I also offer, like, if they lose a challenge, they lose 1 point. So like,
Ooh.
so there has to be cost and effect. Like, cool,
yeah.
is it worth the challenge? Like,
I mean,
should we
that's
challenge?
probably so that not everybody's challenging every single call, right? And
Not
you're like wasting
exactly. So it's
everybody's
like,
time. Like, there's got to
yeah,
be strategy in it. Like, is this worth it? Is
is
this
this worth it? Is this
yeah, I
worth the
mean,
point? Is it worth the point
yeah.
to? So yeah,
Because like I feel like there's been times where I've competed too, and it's like I could go challenge it, and then I'm like, but I'm not gonna win this event anyway. I might not even win this competition. So is it worth it for me to like go and screw that guy?
Mhm.
No, not really. So I'm just gonna let it ride. But and I think that would be the same. Like you don't want guys that aren't even really challengers going and just screwing everything up just to screw it
Mhm.
up.
In a contest with 150 people, it's really hard to challenge things.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I've seen cell phone footage challenges like, oh, look at me, and they're like 30 feet away from the line. they're like I've seen it, but no, I think in like at least in the elite level, like World's Strongest Man, Giants Live,
Yeah.
they have the ability, and they have the opportunity to be like, yo, we're having a standardization. The World's Strongest Man, Giants Life, has a national ref organization. They don't know each one,
Yeah.
and they will alternate every round. So it's fresh
Yes.
eyes, not the same kind of thing. And I feel like that's the easy way to standardize right now. Like, that's the first
It's a
step
good
to
idea.
standardize, right?
That's a
Because
good
like all,
concept.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
I
easy.
like
It's
that
easy.
because it does. I mean, it adds legitimacy to strongman as a sport, having consistency in at least judging, right?
At least judge it.
Some
You
sort
can't
of
do the equipment.
standardization. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then the my idea to that further, like, okay, cool, So we don't have the world doesn't have the budget for a giant referee organization, but we can have a volunteers and we'll give them a test, we'll give them a training course, see they pass. So now with the loose sandbag or different axles or different welds, we can do these online qualifications if they have a referee volunteer certificate under the World Strongest Man belt. So we could do more of these
Yeah.
global
Yeah, I
contests.
mean,
Like, cool.
when you do the Iron Mine Red Nail, as a good example, kind of segueing off of that, you have to have an approved Iron Mine representative there in person when you do it
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
to
it's like the
approve
Guinness
it.
World Record. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
exactly that and the Guinness World Record. To be
it makes it
probably
very
Guinness.
legitimate.
Yeah. So I feel like that's the easiest way with low budget right now. So like let's say you, you and John want to be like a ref, right? And then you want to be a ref in Austin, Texas or Denver, right? And you have to take the test. The Strongman
Yeah.
Texas organization, you give a test. And this is like a legit test, not like a 30 answer test. This is like a legit 6-page test because it's gonna be legit. Like
Who
you have to
won?
be
Who won World's Strongest Man the year you were born?
you don't know. Yeah, it's like technical issues, like conflict issues. I don't know. I'm just thinking like we gotta make this test really hard so people want it, right?
Yeah.
If they don't want it, you can't make it easy. Then everyone's gonna get it. You're gonna be lazy about it, right?
Yep.
So we have to, but like that's the easiest and cheapest way to standardize everything. And then once the sport grows, right, the roadmap expands to like, okay, now we have 9,000 people doing the world qualifiers instead of 20 people, right? Like I want to hit that.
Yeah.
I want to hit that 9,000 people. Like I want to fucking post this organization. 9,000 people got a rep in the first round. That'll be
Hell
fucking
yeah,
legit.
Dude, that would
That'd
be.
be awesome.
I agree. I think I said many times that strongman could learn a lot from CrossFit, and
Dude,
for whatever reason though, CrossFit like strongman like just looks down on CrossFit so much, and I kind of understand like the beginnings because like CrossFit did sort of steal strongman and like made it profitable in the early stages of CrossFit. It was really kind of this one size fits all, like having grandma do freaking 800-pound yoke walks or whatever stupid they were doing, right? But I mean, it's really matured into a legitimate like organization.
Oh, for sure. Remember when the farmers walk was introduced in CrossFit, people were freaking out. I was like, "What the? It's just farmers walk, guys!" Like
it's a farmers walk.
Yeah, like when they did the Rogue, when Rogue Invitational did the log, all the logs were sold out, and for a while, in Rogue Invitation, in the Rogue website. After that,
but that was a mystery event. After
after.
Yeah.
So now,
but that's the thing, yeah.
Like it's just like easy. Yeah, it's so easy. It's like, but I people who make fun of CrossFit actually never did reps over or never actually worked out an event for 60 seconds because that shit's hard, dude. CrossFit is the hardest thing
super hard
to fucking do. Like,
and
like for example, Brooke Wells one year ran like 10 miles, then the same day. Same after that, did 435 deadlift. like that shit's respectable. That shit's like
my coach Bo Dorning, owner of V23. He's been training. He wants to run 50 miles. He wants to do where's it at? It might be the Grand Canyon, but he wants to run this 50 miles and then deadlift 700 pounds. That's his goal this year.
Wait, after the 50 miles?
I don't know if he's going to do it like immediately after, but like in the same week. I don't know that he's going to do it immediately after, but like in the same week. Like he wants to like that's like what he's been training for is to do like he wants to be able to run a full 50 miles. And then, and at the same time, like, training wise, be able to deadlift 700, which would be insanity if he pulls it off.
No suit, or
no suit. I don't think
no suit. No, I mean he'll probably pull sumo, but like I have no qualms with sumo whatsoever.
Yeah. When you first said that, I just imagined that the barbell was the
Was
finish
like at
line,
the
and you
finish
just
line.
get
It's
there,
like
and like
Yeah, yeah,
you have to lift it.
I
and
don't
then
think
you
there's
can
any way
cross.
because there's so much downhill. Like his quads are just going to be just destroyed by the end of that.
Yeah,
I think.
50
Yeah.
miles, man.
that
Yeah.
athleticism
On
though.
training days for me, on training days, I try to do middle. I don't. I used to surf a lot in the morning, but now on I do that on my off days now because like on training days, I just need to focus on my not with dispensing a lot of energy. Yeah.
Makes sense. It's hard though because you don't think about those like little things that build up. But I think, I mean, the going back to the invitational, it was interesting to see how much stuff the CrossFit fans bought. Like you think as like a sponsor and a vendor, like you have the strongman people not buying not buying very much, and then the CrossFit people like we're doing fun little workouts in the parking lot. They're buying rucksacks and like you're like,
Hmm.
as a sponsor, when you have 9,000 interested people in buying your stuff, like that means something as a sponsor. Like that's worth your money to like be in front of those people. Cause at least at the invitational, like the CrossFit fans were so excited about everything. I'm just like,
Oh, I
it
agree,
helps.
man. It helps. There's a crazy idea I composed of like just merge World Strongest Man and CrossFit together. Use World Strongest Man, use CrossFit's live stream media team already, and just put Strongman in there
Dude.
right now.
Because I mean,
Imagine,
dude, like I've said on here, and it's very controversial that strongman without weight classes, right? The propensity is to get large, right? Strongman to me is it's the monster truck of racing, right? CrossFit
Mhm,
is the NASCAR,
mhm.
and I mean they and if you treat them as such, I think. Well, I mean the big super heavyweights, and I think even the open class women's do a lot better, right? The open classes are just more popular in strongman. They just are
Yeah,
because
because
people recognize it as
it's
this is a freak show,
yeah,
right?
and I don't like that. I mean, I like it, but at the same time, it drives people away a lot, right?
It may. I mean, it might, but I mean,
I
They're
live in
not
the
going
I
to
live
weight
in
class strong, man. Right? Those people aren't
no.
getting driven away and going to weight class strong. Then they're going to CrossFit because that like to me, I
That's
legitimately look at CrossFit is weight class strongman because they're all under 200 pounds, right?
yeah.
Most of them, right?
Yeah.
Most of them are under 200 pounds, and they're doing. I mean, they're doing a lot of strongman events, and the top competitors are just as strong, and in some cases stronger than the weight class strongman. I mean, you know, there's
So
top. I
so
guess our top weight class strongman probably still are statically a bit stronger, but they're
so
comparable.
my question is then should we have weight classes in strongman?
That's
This
the
is where it gets
controversy.
interesting.
That's the
That's
controversy. I mean, I don't. I think that people should not. I don't think anybody should like go out and like put an end to it. Like because people like to compete in strongman, right?
Oh, I agree. I
Uh,
agree.
but I think they would. Me, my personal opinion is shitty as it is. I think they would be better served in CrossFit.
I same thing. It's like yeah, go if you're going to do strongman, go for a $250,000 check.
Fucking right, man. That's
Go for
exactly it. Like you're gonna get more exposure, probably more respect from the broader community, and better opportunities.
and community alone, right? Like the strongman community is amazing. Like I love my
It
classes.
is.
I love my my little racket team I have when I coach them. But like, there's nothing like going in the box on a fucking Saturday and just like everyone's hyping each other up, dude.
Dude, it's nuts.
Like it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Versus like a powerlifting. Like I've been to a powerlifting gym. It's just like fucking blaring death metal music, and I'm like, I'm in it's lifting every 5 minutes, and like I'm waiting 30 minutes to fucking use a squat rack. Like I got, it's like it's different, and I don't know. But there's like that's my weirdest idea. Like I feel like CrossFit and World Strongest Man could combine because they're both
Mhm.
CBS. They have the same package, and they just use a live stream from CrossFit, and then put you make Strongman right now a sideshow, but still you will still have $250,000 crash pass, dude. But
Hell yeah.
the only caveat is that they have to go to the online qualifying thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people will pay for those things. If CrossFit makes a ton of money because the boxes have to be certified, you pay to be a certified coach, all these things. So it's like you could ideally, I mean, at this point, USS and most people that you rely on people buying your annual membership and everything and going to
Dude,
comps. Like people would pay money to be certified as a judge or a coach.
I don't know about that with strongman because there was somebody, and I don't remember who it was, that tried Strong Fit. That they tried to do the CrossFit model and do exactly that same thing.
I
Like,
know I've seen that before. I've seen that.
it was way back in like 2010, 11. It was still when the Maroon Day Forum was still alive when that happened. So it would have been like that 2009, 10, 11 maybe was when it got really, really popular before it kind of died off. And they wanted to do that. They wanted to do the certification and kind of like the box membership and whatever, the licensing. And I mean, maybe it was a marketing thing, right? Maybe they didn't invest enough time into growing it, but it fizzled out pretty quickly.
Yeah, maybe because because back then, early 2000s, you had to have a full production team to do this.
Yeah.
Now with social media, Instagram, you post your qualifier like, okay, I'm going to do 110-pound sandbag to my chest. You have to post it. That's free marketing right there. That's one person.
Yeah.
An average person has $200. That's 200 people watching your shit already. So yeah, post your level 1 rounds. That's the only caveat. And then that's people building that shit up. That's marketing right there.
Yeah.
It's easy to market this.
See, I'm just imagining going to a NASCAR race, and in the middle, all of that field, monster trucks.
Oh,
right?
Oh, bro, even better.
Because I'm saying like CrossFit, like when they go on their runs and they leave the stadium, right? They're strongman in the middle, lifting heavy shit.
Yeah, like in the way, let's say they have the yoke, right? Usually they have like a yoke in the CrossFit event, and then instead of pulling it weight, just add more weight to it, and then have 20 people running down the fucking middle lane.
Yeah,
imagine,
hell yeah, man.
Imagine 20 people running at the same time. That would be hype, dude.
Dude, that would be like that's what I'm saying. Like, if you make strongman a race where you have like, because we have a tendency to have like just 1 or 2 people going at a time. If you have like, it takes capital, of course, in the space, but if you have like a 10 athlete field of athletes, a 10, and all 10 going at the same time on every event, like it becomes comprehensive. It's a race. It's
1 hour.
And it's 1 hour. You're right, man. You can blast through that really fast. And the average, like especially an average American, like has a very short attention span. So you want to keep it right and be entertaining. Like to me, that's like a no-brainer. But you got to have the capital, of course, to purchase all the equipment and the space.
Well, that's why class is the perfect thing. They already have the lanes. They already have the fucking things. So all you have to do is just add a little bit more weight to it, and then it's the perfect. You don't need capital. You just You need. I just feel like that's. If I was the CEO of, if I was the director of World Strongest Man, I would be knocking on CrossFit's door right now. I was like, hey, let's collab.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Maybe you need to reach out to him with your idea and just be like, hey, let's sit down. I've got a great idea.
Oh, dude, people fucking hate me so much, man.
But I mean, they will, but that's the only, like, everybody hates the radicals, right? Until the radical makes the change and they realize, oh my God, this is so great.
No, I told Lynn about this for OSG. I was like, dude, I could put, I have the email of the email's assistant of the CEO of CrossFit, so I could just ask him like, hey, here's my crazy idea. Let's merge the sport. And I told him I could do it, but I respect strongman so much. I want to build in the long run. Long-term form, I want to build the infrastructure in strongman itself, and that's why I like OSG's formula a lot with the online qualifiers. And I think if you want to keep it simple, like I'm trying to make ASG or Asia Strongest Man or OSG Asia a thing right now. That's why we're going China 2 weeks to
Oh,
find
yeah.
strongest man in China, and then I'm going to go
Dude,
to Taiwan, Philippines,
there's a
Japan.
guy. There's a guy. I had to like find out. So he came out several years ago. He contacted Mike Burke, and I trained with Mike Burke for
Potato.
several years.
Potato.
Little potato. Look up
He was a
Potato Man.
huge potato, dog.
Dude, he was huge. And,
He actually has a disease. He has to lose weight. He couldn't maintain that weight.
For real.
Yeah. It's sad.
That's unfortunate. I lost contact with him when he went back to China.
Yeah. It was sad. It was like, oh, that would be cool. I saw him.
That's awesome that you know Potato Man.
I know everyone, man.
Dude, that's crazy. I trained with Potato for like he was here for like 2 or 3 years, man.
Yeah, Potato, man. I know the Mike Burke, but when I first met him in like 2013, I was not prepared for his high pitched voice, bro. Yeah. I was not prepared. That was really weird.
Burke?
Yeah, he has like a high pitched voice. You sound like what Mike Burke should sound like.
That's funny. I never really noticed that. Maybe I just like was accustomed to talking to Mike. I mean, he wasn't like Mike was like one of the most down to earth and just chill, like
dude.
Good people, man. He never said a bad word about anybody ever. Just a good human being.
What's crazy is that he would do a construction job than a contest. That's nuts, man. That was crazy. But no, he had like a like not like super high, but like it was like
I mean,
whoa.
It wasn't a low voice. I mean, but yeah, I mean, he wasn't like Mike, like a.
That guy was like 6'5", bro. He was 6'5". You think he? I don't know. I'm just judging the book by its cover.
That's funny. That's funny, man. I haven't seen Burke now in a couple of years, but if I see him again, I'm gonna tell him that.
I told him that. I was like, I did not expect your voice to be like that, dude.
That's hilarious, man.
I told him when he was doing the Thomas Inch Farmer's Walk, which is a ridiculous feat of strength that he did.
That's insane.
Like, that was fucking crazy, absolutely crazy. But I was like, man, when I first met you, I was like, was not prepared for your voice.
That's awesome, dude.
him and Mark Felix. I met Mark Felix when I was 13.
Mark Felix definitely has like an unusually high voice for his stature.
Yeah. this big dude is like, that was weird. That was really
he's just
weird.
soft spoken. That's what he is. He's just like really soft spoken.
Yeah, he's very, very nice dude. Very nice dude.
Awesome, man. I think that's awesome that you know Potato.
I don't know his real name. I just know it's Potato because his
it's like it was literally like a kind of a literal translation from his Chinese name is like Little Potato.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, we just called him Potato.
Yeah. He competed in 2016, I think. No, 15. 15. And that's why I met him in Odd Haugen Strongman Classic.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, because I mean that's what he came here for. He literally he got in contact with Mike Burke and came to the United States on a visa just to train strongman with Mike Burke.
That's crazy.
That's literally his whole purpose of being here.
We went to Shenzhen in 2019 to introduce strongman. Now we're going back. There's like 5 strongman gyms now in Shenzhen, which is that's awesome. Cool. We're making waves, boy. But they're like, these people is like 90 kilograms. I was like, they're like little Chinese guys.
Right.
So
that's awesome, dude.
We're gonna make waves.
In a country of billions,
that's the whole goal with the strength unknown, man. To just really show strongman, because strongman is the ultimate test of strength, hands down. It is the ultimate test of strength. When in doubt, everyone does something strongman event, right? You move the table, you move the couch, you move everything. That's a fucking strongman event. If you help your friend move, you did a strongman event. That's what it is. But we do it for sport, not for, or some people do it for a living. And that's what I want to do. I want to grow the sport so that people could do that fucking online qualifiers around the world. And now we have a live strongman event.
Dude, that's a great idea, man, and I think you should pitch that to CrossFit.
Yeah, because that's
Do
another
it.
thing is like we've talked about how siloed strongman is when you realize like there's a whole world of like strength out there. Like you said, strength unknown of like you have people all over the world doing insane feats of strength that like no one gets to
Mhm.
see here, which is why that's so
Yeah.
important. Like it's crazy to realize like we always talk about like stone to shoulder. And then you're like 329 kilograms is something you've never seen in a competition in the US
Just
to shoulder.
lifting, just
Like,
lifting that much weight is like just deadlifting it
yeah,
is an incredible feat in and of itself.
much less rolling
Mhm.
it over your knees and like getting it, sliding it up your body and just like,
And then doing a circle around it.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
yeah,
Yeah.
those
nuts,
are
man.
crazy.
Well, hey guys, we're way over. We typically try to stay
Timekeeper.
at an hour, man. But
Oh shit! I'm
this
sorry, dude.
it's been such a good conversation. We're up to an hour and a half.
Okay, yeah, man.
That's
If you
true.
need to go.
We should probably wrap it up. In any final thoughts, Romark? I mean, we really appreciate you coming on. Anything? I mean, where can people find you? Find Strength Unknown. Whatever.
Yes.
Whatever you want to say.
You can find me on Instagram, at Romark Weiss, and then you can find Strength Unknown under Martin's Leases. Our new well, I don't know when this video is going to come up, but our last episode of Basket Country is going to be this Sunday. And then yeah, man. And then if you're watching from Scotland, I'll be in Scotland August 6th lifting Diddy stones.
Hell yeah, man. Good luck with that, man. We'll be watching
Thank you.
closely.
Yeah, we will. Thank you so much for coming by. This is excellent.
For sure, man. Easy day.
Yeah.
For having me.
Support us on Patreon or Anchor, and find us on Instagram or Facebook.